And this is Young Justice number 20. It's over, people. It's over, Johnny. You have it written by Brian Michael Bendis and David Walker, art by Scott Godlewski, colors by Gabe Altieb, letters by Wes Abbott. And I was told before I read this earlier in the week when people had read it, I didn't read it till a couple days after it came out. Hey, Jim, it's a Teen Lantern issue. And I'm like, okay, well, you kind of got this whole concept that as this book was canceled and it's heading towards this finale, Brian Michael Bendis was scrambling to get all this info that he never got to in the regular series. One of the biggest problems of this series has been that you have new characters, Kelly Quintella, Teen Lantern, Ginny Hex. What do we know about them? Even Naomi coming from her book into this. Do we know anything more about Naomi's power set in 20 issues? No. Do we know this whole Teen Lantern? Have we ever seen the glove, the gauntlet that she has? Ever recharge it? No. Do we know exactly the power and how it's No. Do we know what the reaction is from the Green Lanterns? Kind of. We get a little here. Ginny Hex, what's in her trunk? What's the junk in the trunk is what I asked. We don't know. These are the characters that I was inspired to learn about, that I wanted to learn about, that they look cool. The art in this is incredible. The art in Young Justice has always been great. That is what intrigues me because it looks like it should be fun, but it never is. And what you end up, for me at least, what you end up having is Brian Michael Bendis having a book where he just wanted to have it because he heard people loved Young Justice. This pretty much is like a softball pitch home run for him, he thinks. He can't even explain why the characters know each other or don't, because it is from different continuity deal, but he never could really point it out fully what is going on there. You end up having too many characters. He has new characters, never deals with them. And one of my there's two really big problems in this series. One being, and it's not necessarily my thing that gets me all up and yelling and screaming, but it's continuity. He does not know the continuity, doesn't know, and he doesn't care. And like one of the things just recently, you ended up having a Wonder Girl issue. Again, he's trying to throw these characters he did nothing with. All of a sudden, you have to go, oh my God, I got to get them out there. Let's have an issue. So Wonder Girl, the whole deal with Zeus. Oh, my grandfather. Oh, Zeus gets attacked by Poseidon. In this continuity, if you care or not, whatever, but Poseidon's dead. Poseidon got killed in Metal by Cheetah. Now, you can say, well, everybody comes back from, dying, especially gods. Well, first off, the pantheon of Greek gods has been a little bit on the fritz lately, and we don't really see a lot of them because they kind of bailed. But in Metal, when Cheetah killed Poseidon, she did it with the Tear of Extinction, and that was supposedly the way to kill a god, then they couldn't come back. Now, if you're going to have Poseidon come, you have to explain it. But he doesn't even know he was supposed to be dead, so he's not going to explain it. Earlier in the series, you ended up having, spoiler, say, oh yeah, my dad, Cluemaster's dead. He died in Batman Eternal. So then what really angers me with Brian Michael Bendis, and he does this a lot, where he made a mess up, and now down the line, somebody tells him, you done messed up. Well, now he has to devote an issue to kind of retroactively take care of his mess up. And you did get a Tim Drake spoiler issue that some people like. But for the most part, that issue was to get that mess up at the beginning to make sense because, oh, my dad, he faked his death. Now, and this has nothing to do with it. If you fake your death, you change your name. He says he faked his death to get away from Batman, moves to another city, but still goes back. You don't think Batman's going to hear about this? Seriously. But I was told this was a Teen Lantern issue. So, all right, I want to know more about Teen Lantern. We don't learn crap. We end up where what we knew, we still get, and it's nothing. You end up, John Stewart comes and basically says to Kelly, hey, what's up with you and this gauntlet you have, the green? You can't have that. Well, I found it. Finders, keepers, losers, sweepers. No, it doesn't go like that. But I really don't have a lot of time to deal with this right now. So what I suggest you do is go to the Hall of Justice and we'll train you. Not me. Somebody. I have things to do. sayonara sucker. And then Kelly just goes through the issue still using it. I mean, if you're really going to have Jon Stewart show up and say, listen, you got to stop this, he's going to take it. He's Jon Stewart, but he's just there to say nothing. Then you also, it's like, remember when we first talked? I'm like, really? You're going to go back to that? Because you said nothing there. And this is a revisionist history version, and it still doesn't say anything. I would have liked it to be like, well, we said a little on the side you didn't see. It was the same thing. Where'd you get that power? Yeah, that's going to have to be looked into, but I ain't got time now. Sayonara, sucker. It's always like that. So you end up, what else this issue is you're going to have Brian Michael Bendis, too many characters in this book. They're going to go to Mount Justice, the old headquarters of Young Justice. Problem is, in this continuity, Mount Justice was completely obliterated in Steve Orlando's Justice League of America, where then they set up the foundation, the Justice League Foundation, in its place. So this isn't right in continuity. And all it does is end up aping the cartoon, but also the Young Justice comic, and the first, where they go into the Mount Just and they find Red Tornado. Red Tornado's there. He's depowered down. He's going. Well, this is where you run into problems here. Red Tornado would know Bart, Connor, Tim from the old continuity. But, okay, we are dealing with it half the time. You end up with the idea that they are from there, but Red Tornado activates and just attacks them all because he says that they're intruders and he doesn't understand and he's going after them. Now, with that, okay, you get some things going on, and really what it ends up being is just Red Tornado yelling out power levels, Omega power level of Naomi. And you're like, oh yeah, Naomi, go for it. And then just gets obliterated by Teen Lantern, gets ripped apart, where that's when Jon Stewart comes. And Jon Stewart at the end, after he talks to Kelly, he's like, hey, and all you guys, you put the robot together. Red Tornado's more than a robot. Red Tornado has a family, for crying out loud. But Brian Michael Bendis is just going to go, plus, get this, there's the joke throughout it. Hey, Red Tomato. I'm like, I'm done. But yeah, so you're going through this. You get nothing out of Jon Stewart talking to Kelly. I'm reading and I'm like, well, we didn't get anything. That's a shame. What's going on? And then just at the end, it's like, hey, everybody, secret meeting. And then they're at a bonfire making s'mores. I hate s'mores, but what did you get? I saw people reviewing this, giving it a perfect score. Please. You got nothing this whole series, and then you end with nothing. And why? This is my biggest problem of the series. My biggest thing that I find fault. Who is the big villain of this series? Dr. Glory, Star Labs. She's now of the Superman books, and she's doing her thing, but was she ever really a villain? There hasn't been a villain. Yeah, Dark Lord Opal in freaking Gem World to start with. Great. Then you go and you have, the young Effers in Earth 3, which another thing that Brian Michael Bendis just didn't understand and brought back before it was supposed to, all these things. So where's the villain? Because usually in these finales, at least something like this, you might be able to have a finale where the team finally comes together with these new, like the idea that Kelly and Ginny Hex, they haven't really been able to jive with the team because they're new here, but they all come together to take down the big villain. There's no big villain. There's no villain. So you end up with a Jon Stewart. Hey, you're going to have to come to the Hall of Justice so we can look at that power there, Teen Lantern. All right, let's make s'mores. Whoop-de-doo. It's just, what is he doing? What is he doing? And then it says never the end. It never is with him because he tells a story that should take 2 issues and it takes him 50. Nothing ever ends, including my anger at this nonsense. Plus, the dialogue is bullcrap and everybody sounds the same. It's the biggest. Now, if you're sitting there like, oh my God, like what's going on? I like this team. And I'm not saying that because these characters are great. Even the characters he made, great. He has done nothing with them. Zilch. Nothing. Nada. Nothing. So why? Please. And don't tell me, well, it got canceled. He would have done something. When? 20 issues and we still don't know anything about these characters, really. Anything you know about the characters in this book, you have brought with you. Like if I know about Connor, yeah, you may because you knew before. Not from this, except that he was in Gem World and he had a wife and a kid there. Nonsense. I tell everybody, bull crap. Don't even get this book. All right, and that's it. Thanks for watching and listening. If you did like the video, like below and subscribe to the channel and check the show notes below to see all the links. Weird Science. All right, I'm out.